head, it's time to start banishing people from the community. I said if we're gonna ever get ahead, we're gonna have to start banishing people from the community. This big goofy groove and this great value Chris Rock with ADHD have to be stopped. Diabolical. I don't care what nobody say. This is one of the poorest examples of black influence I have ever seen in my life. If you never met a black person before, and this was the only representation of black people you got to see through the internet, you would believe that all the stereotypes about black people are true. You could be simple-minded and say, Omar, you just hating if you want to, but they got black people looking donkey dick bad. We can't get any lower. These are literally two little black Sambos. Y'all don't believe me? Check it out. The definition of Sambo is infantile silliness, childish exaggeration, or retardation. The shame! They got Big Groove parading around looking like the big black moron in the room, and I'm supposed to be happy about this? They use us to confuse us, and in return, it's an attempt to make us useless. How much are they paying you, Big Groove, to be the big wiggly nigga that likes to open wide? Am I the only person that feels this way? Like, am I tripping? Because if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. Am I tripping? Look at this Kentucky Fried nigga shit. This is irresponsible. This is diabolical. Nigga got a booger in his nose. Holding a burger like it's a baby. Come on, man. This is tomfoolery at its finest. We gotta banish these niggas, man. Enough is enough. And if you don't think this tomfoolery is diabolical, I think you're catfish crazy. The shame!
Giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, HaKodash, and double honors to our apostles and elders. Very great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Yeah, I've seen those little clips a few times. A brother had shared that the other day, and it just made me, it made me just remind myself as that the way of the Lord is just, His judgment is just, and it's always right on time. It's always the perfect method, because when you see two coons like themselves, right? Those two coons who quite literally just embarrassing the nation. And then, you ask yourself the question, why are they even doing this? And it's simple, because it's obvious they're doing it just to appease make a fool out of us, and appease the audience of the other nations, and make us look like a bunch of fools, because they're getting rewarded for it, because they'll do stuff like that and they know they're getting nothing but backlash, and that'll just fuel them even more to do it, because they know it's upsetting their own people, and it's making their own people look like making us look bad. And they do it with joy, nothing makes them even more happy to do it even more, to know like, yeah, I'm really going to piss off my people today. So when Trump making his moves, as he told Chicago, he changed the Department of Defense to Department of War. And he started with Chicago, but he put up a meme the other day and said that Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Right. And he showed himself with a cowboy hat on, that old, with two swords on the hat, that old cowboy spirit with the city on fire. He's making a declaration of war, and he's making it on Israelites. So you got two monkeys, right, buck dancing, which I'm gonna read that. You got two monkeys buck dancing before the whole world, making us look like a complete embarrassment for filthy lucre, for gain, and the joy and the pleasure of upsetting their own nation. People who take pleasure in giving our people a bad name and pushing this infamy on the Israelites, pushing this infamy on us, just complete, absolute embarrassments, complete degenerates. And they do it with a big smile on their face, right? And their attitude, you know what they say? Well, who gonna stop me? Who gonna stop me? And like the brother who said the video, he said these people have to be stopped. And indeed, they will be stopped. And the Lord got the perfect sword. He got the perfect man for the job. And that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Now, I'll admit, every now and then I get a little upset to know that, that these devils is for the most part going to have some level of success as, touching our people. And I think of what the prophets say, and then I just get reminded, right, that the Lord, his way is the best way. Okay. Because like even Ezra, when he asked the Lord, this is verse 28, he says, "And now, Lord Yahweh, why hast thou given this one people over unto many? And upon the one root hast thou prepared others. Why hast thou scattered thine only one people among many? And they which did gainsay thy promises and believe not thy covenants have trodden them down. If thou didst so much hate thy people, yet shouldst thou punish them with thine own hands." Right? So even, Ezra's like, Lord, I rather you had just dealt with us yourself than to scatter us and to have these other nations have their way with us. Because, that's a curse. That's a curse to see these people touch us like that, because the only reason they can is because the Lord gave them the power to do it. Right? So yeah, the prophets, hey, even King David, let me see if I can find that. So 2 Samuel 2:24, verse 12. Start at 11. "And when David was come in the morning, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and say unto David, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will offer thee three things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee. So Gad came unto David and told him and said unto him, 7 years of famine come unto thee in thy land? Or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies while they pursue thee? Or that there be 3 days of pestilence in thy land? Now advise and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me." And David said unto Gad, "I am in a great strait. Let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hands of man." So even when David was offered those three, he said, the Lord, I would rather the Lord deal with us or deal with me, versus fleeing from my enemies. That's a curse. Even when you go to the curses, Deuteronomy 28, that's a curse. So I'll admit there are times where just knowing, or even when these Edomites boast, right? Like right now, these Edomites are all riled up because of that killing in, I forgot the area, but the killing on the bus of that Ukrainian woman by that Jake. Trump used that. He put out a thing today, right? What did he say today? He basically used Jake as a face of terror. And he's saying, this is why we're coming with the troops. This is why we're going to Chicago and other cities. I'm coming to make America safe. So he's using it as an excuse to make Jake look like the villain. And it's getting all these Edomites roused up, right? And they're talking big, mad things online. I'm talking about big things online. They're saying enough's enough. We had enough. And they're boasting. And, the fact of the matter is we got the truth. So we understand what this is all about. The truth is this devil is going down. He's going down. So his attitude is, since I'm going down, I'm going to kill as many Israelites as I can, because that's all he wants to do anyway. You got you got Edomites who their whole life, they just preparing for a reason to kill. That's it. Half the people who join the army who are Edomites, they say they join just to kill. The scripture says blood is nothing in his sight. He's bloodthirsty. And that's why the Lord is going to reward him according to his anger. He just wants to kill. And if there's any people he wants to kill, is Israelites. Okay, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. These are the things that he wants to do. You understand? So when a killing like that happens, people getting roused up. They are happy, because they just want to kill. They just want to kill. And, you get, knowing like, okay, the Lord's going to use this devil to judge 2/3 of our people, because 2/3 of Israel is going to be judged. And at times, just seeing the news of Esau killing Jacob, pressing Jacob, whatever it is, yeah, it makes you mad. It makes me mad, right? And, I'll say within myself sometimes, like, oh, man, it'd be much better if the Lord just used, did it with his own hands versus these damn devils, man. Because, I don't like the idea of these devils touching us. But then you see stuff like that, right? With those two monkeys, those two buck dancing monkeys putting on a minstrel show solely for the appeasement of the Edomites, to make our people look bad. And they got the attitude to say, oh, it's making my people mad. I want to go even further now. When you see two monkeys like that put on the show, when Jake gets you mad enough, then you get reminded, like, this is why the Lord said he's going to use these Edomites to bring judgment upon our people. Well, has the Lord said that he's going to bring judgment upon his people. His methods are great. So then you get that reminder, like, now I remember now why the Lord said he's going to use this man to bring that anger, to bring that judgment on 2/3 of Israel, because these niggas deserve it. You see? So you got to always remember, like I tell myself, the Lord's ways is always the better way. It's always the supreme way. Okay? The Lord already, he already taken into account that he using the base man to touch the gold. But as the scripture says, how's the gold become dim? A lot of our people are just absolutely good for nothing sinners, just good for nothing. And the Lord is going to use this devil. He's going to use that bloodthirsty, blood-hungry, killing spirit in Edomites. He's going to use them to bring judgment upon 2/3 of his people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you goddamn coons, you niggas, you buck dancing monkeys, all of you 2/3 of our people. Okay, he's gonna use this devil to bring hell on you, and it's like, who's the better person to do it than the devil himself? The devil that these two monkeys are tap dancing for. They only doing it for him. These two devils, okay, I'm sorry, those two devils, but those two monkeys are doing it for these devils. Who better to bring wrath upon these niggas than the same man that they are tap dancing for? Esau Edom is the perfect man for the job to bring judgment upon these punk ass, weak spirited, effeminate, homosexual embarrassments. Okay, Esau is the perfect person for that. So, you look up buck dancing, the buck dancers elegy. That's what those two monkeys are. I'm just going to jump to the point. It says, to my colleagues and allies who are not so-called black, buck dancing is one of the most popular insults that modern day so-called black folks use on each other. We deploy this insult when we identify behavior that we are certain is calculated specifically to amuse and appease Edomites, so-called white folks, which is exactly what those two clowns are doing, cheesing super hard in the camera, or all this fool look like a complete embarrassment, making themselves look like clowns, making us look bad, right, in front of these other nations, okay, dancing like a bunch of homosexuals, because they are homosexuals. They doing these things specifically to appease the Edomites, because they know that it angers their own people, and it's calculated. And in their mind, they say, who's going to stop me? Those cheesing with big grins, right? Looking like a bunch of damn clowns. These two monkeys, no shame, no integrity bone in their body. Okay, guys like him. He goes on, it says, popularized during the era of the minstrel show, but never too far removed from the subconscious mind of American pop culture. It is a particular odious form of performative blackness. We call it out today when we witness one of our fallen brothers putting on a show, because he seems to be desperately seeking so-called white folks approval, or so-called white folks money, or white whatever exactly. And that's what those two monkeys are doing over there. They're buck dancing for the appeasement of their oppressor. But that's okay. And the guy, and then you ask, well, what are we to do with the filth of our nation like that? The Lord already has it in store. He's going to use the devil, Esau, Edom, the same ones that they're tap dancing for, the same ones they're putting on a minstrel show for. He's going to use that same devil to bring wrath upon these people and call all Yahweh Shem Yahshua for that. Well deserved. Who better? When you hear Charleston Wright talk like a damn degenerate and boast himself against the Lord, when you hear people like Anton Daniels talk all that shit because he made an agreement with the dollar and he's loyal to the state and he's loyal to Trump, and the Trump administration did nothing but W's. I support everything. Trump can bring back hanging. And let's bring back hanging niggas on the street. He could bring hanging back. He gonna say, yeah, I support that. I support that. See, so then who better than to give these niggas a wake up call and to bring the judgment than Esau himself? You see, and this is why you see brothers say the things we say, because we get mad at our own people. Then we say, this is why the Lord got to use this damn devil to bring judgment upon you damn niggas. You well deserve it. You deserve it, man. We tired of seeing you niggas. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 10. O Assyrian, this is before the Assyrian captivity. The Lord speaking, he said, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. You see, I will send him against the hypocritical nation. Who is that? The Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. So he's saying, I'm going to send this other nation upon my own people. Why? Because of my indignation. He says, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like mire in the streets. That's what the Lord is able to do. And that's what he's given the commandment to Esau to do. For 2/3 of Israel, 2/3 of Israel shall cut off and be cut off and die, as the scripture says. And that's what's going to happen to you 2/3 Israelites out there who think this is a joke. You know, this is exactly what's going to happen to you, and well deserved. Zechariah 13:8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land of Israel, said the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And the third is the elect. The third is the elect. 2/3, take a pie chart of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Take a pie chart and then cut out 2/3. That's 2/3 is going to be destroyed by either nuclear missiles, the sword, famine, pestilence, whatever it is. Okay? Whatever it is. Because you are appointed for destruction. Because you're not of the elect. And the Lord's going to use Esau to do it. 2nd Ezra 9. And he answered me, saying, like as the field is, so is also the seed. And as the flowers be, such are the colors also. Such as the workman is, such also is the work. And as the husband is himself, so is the husbandry also. For it was the time of the world. And now when I prepared the world, which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For everyone obeyed. But now the manners of them which are created in this world is made, are corrupted by perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable, who rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril, because of the devices that were come in it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant. For with great labor have I made it perfect. You see? So out of the cluster of grapes, the Lord, give me the grape. I'm sparing the grape. Let the multitude perish. I'm only concerned about the grape of the cluster. He also referred to it as a wave compared to a drop. So that's how many is going to perish. A drop compared to a wave, that's how many is going to be saved. So what's going to happen to the grapes of cluster or the 2/3? They're going to be trodden down like mire in the street by the devil. Because if we go back to Isaiah 10, dealing with the Assyrian, verse 7, he says, howbeit he meaneth not so, neither do his heart think so. But it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few. So the Lord said, this man don't even got Israel in sight. He just got it in his heart to destroy. But guess what? I'm going to give him charge, and I'm going to tell him to go to Israel. And you're going to destroy. Right? You're going to destroy. I'm going to use him. So the Lord can use other nations as a tool to bring wrath upon his own people. And we know that these Edomites, the so-called white people, they have a thirst to kill our people, to kill to kill our people in general. And all they need is some excuse to do so. So if they hear that people get riled up, they don't care what excuse it is. They just need an excuse to kill. They want there to be war because they live and die by that gun. And a lot of people, and what do you think? A lot of them train on the range and hunt their whole life. You think they just doing that, to hunt? No, they want to eventually they want their targets to be people. And you already know who they want to target. Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. That's who they want to target. It's already in their spirit to do so. And the Lord is going to put you 2/3 monkeys in their sight to be trodden down. Who better to bring that judgment to you all's doorstep than the same ones that you all are tap dancing for, you buck dancing, putting on minstrel shows for? Who better than to bring the judgment to your door? So when we hear people like Anton Daniels boast and talk all of his shit, we say, oh, that's okay, because the same people he rallying for is going to be the same ones knocking on his door, going upside his head, throw him in concentration camps. Just judgment. Second Ezra 15. Verse 22. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and have consumed the foundations of the earth. And the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord Yahweh knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For Yahweh shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. So that's going to be the judgment of you 2/3 Israelites, you good for nothing niggas that just roam the streets causing hell, good for nothings, embarrassments, because you got women who want to twerk on top of cars, losing their lives, twerking in the Chinese stores, making themselves look like a damn fool, like Elder Pastor said. It's like feeding time at the zoo when those Moabites was throwing out wigs and they were there catching the wigs. Like I said, feeding time at the zoo. These embarrassments to our nation, and they do it because they think they can get away with it. But that's okay. The same ones that they want to put on a show for, that they want to tap dance for, that they want to buck dance for, this is the same one that the Lord's going to use to bring that wrath upon you 2/3 Israelites. And yeah, like I said, we sometimes we get mad, to see these devils touch us, to put his hands on us. But then we see your foolishness, we see your wickedness, and we say, it's good for you niggas, good for you 2/3 ass Israelites, good for you. You Northern Kingdom, you Latin tribes, voting, all for Trump, talking all that idiotic stuff, and then next thing you know, he locking you down and kicking you out. And we say good for you. That's what you get because you're too fucking stupid. See? So the Lord knows exactly the best way that he's going to bring judgment upon 2/3 of Israel, and he's going to use these Edomites to do it primarily. And we just got to realize this is a just judgment, man. These people deserve it. And the Lord's going to preserve his elect. And in the end, when we get in the kingdom, we're going to get Esau back for everything he done anyway. We already know, the Lord already said that Esau's going to come down wrath because he knows his time's up. Shoot, you don't think these devils know that their time is up? And if there's anything they're going to do before they leave, they're going to say what? Well, I'm going to kill as many as you all before I go down. And we know that. And the Lord's going to allow them to do that to 2/3 of Israel. Well, he's going to protect his elect. And guess what? In the kingdom, we're going to get them all. We're going to get them back for everything that they've done. Okay, because just like if I kept reading, the Lord said that eventually he's going to judge the Assyrian for boasting. And he's still going to touch you now. You're still touching his anointed now. Okay? As if I jump down, verse 12, wherefore it shall come to pass, Isaiah 10:12, wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord hath performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and upon Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria and the glory of his high looks. For he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and I have removed bounds of the people, and have robbed the treasure, and I put them down in inhabitants like a valiant man. And my hand hath found as a nest of the rich of the people, and as one that gathereth eggs of the left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moveth the wing, or openeth the mouth, or peeped. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against him that lifted it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself, as if it were no wood? Therefore shall the Lord of hosts, send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory he shall kindle a burning like a burning of fire. And the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and the Holy One for a flame, and it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day. So the Lord still going to choose Jacob, you see. I'm going to jump down to verse 24. It says, therefore thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, O my people that dwellest in Zion, be not afraid of the Assyrian. He shall smite thee with the rod, and lift up his staff against thee against Egypt, after the manner of Egypt. And shall lift up his staff against thee after the manner of Egypt, for yet a little while, and the indignation shall cease, and my anger in their destruction. See? And the Lord Yahweh of hosts shall stir up a scourge for him, according to the slaughter of Midian at the rock of Oreb, and his rod was upon the sea, so shall he lift up after the manner of Egypt. And it shall come to pass in that day that his burden shall be taken away from off thy shoulder, and his yoke from off thy neck, and the yoke shall be destroyed because of the anointing. So at the end of the day, the elect understood that though we're being smitten by our enemies, it's because, one, we deserved it, and it's only for a moment. Even the seven children in the Maccabees, with King Antiochus Epiphanes was killing them, even though they was losing their life, they say, hey, look, we deserved it. But they told him what you're going to ultimately pay in the end. So you Edomites, I know you're excited, you're mad, you just want a reason to kill, right? You're going to target our people, you're going to rejoice over our people. Just know you're still going down. World War III is imminent. America will be destroyed by nuclear missiles. Okay, and in the end, you will go into slavery still. I don't care how much you lie about how great your kingdom is and how great of a people you are. That we know that that's your last hoorah. You got nothing else, and you're going to go into slavery under your brother Jacob. The thing you fear the most will happen. But in the meantime, the Lord will use you to bring judgment upon 2/3 of our people. But just know you won't touch his elect. Shalom.